Goodness gracious, Nick. Here we are in the Tavern Talk. There may be some spider webs. I see you pulling some little some spider webs out of your hair here. You know, it's cool.
Yeah,
The
it's a
weaver's
little
been sweet.
weird. That one's on the wall over there. I don't like it. Things go on the ground.
It's fine. No, it's chill. I haven't been charged for drinks yet, so how about we let him just give us some drinks and be a little spider-like. Anyway, we come to you.
I can't be spider-like.
From
I can't climb on
Azkaban.
the wall.
No, dude, me and the Weaver are tight. You better not, bro. If you fuck with, I've been working with this relationship with me and the Weaver.
What eye do I
You
look in
fucked
when I
with
talk
this.
to them?
Me and the Weaver tight, bro. Azkaban jokes aside, thank you for having us, spiders. But, we wanted to take a drink to coming up will be the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft.
It's gonna be
will
great.
be coming up in late November, actually, will be the 20th anniversary. And we wanted to take a drink just to this beautiful game. It's a little early, but...
It is, but still, I mean, like you said, it's a beautiful game. You and I have met lifelong friends on it, and not including each other. Like, we met in high school, but still. To the people we've met along the way of 20 years of this fantastic game.
Yeah, 20 years of this game. Let's go, especially if there's some beta boys that have been out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, a drink to World of Warcraft for sure. So our first topic is we did get a little bit of the, so to speak, finisher or a little bit of an extended campaign story. Nick, did you have anything you wanted to say about this extended campaign story?
Yeah, I will say I did, it was more rantish the first time I wrote it, or like my notes, but I've toned it down. So when you looked at my comments, you're like, oh, it's going to be a riff episode. But no, it was, go ahead.
Oh, you're good, dude.
Okay.
Come on, just send it.
But no, while questing, it was fantastic to feel like we were back on the battlefield with all the heroes in Azeroth again. And I did love it when the cinematic broke to Ilaria and Turellian, and when it looks like they're surrounded, and she's just going to work with her bow like a boss. Like, she just thoop, thoop, thoop. It's awesome. But when she sees all the black blood around, like, figures out that Xalatath isn't actually on the battlefield, she's like, no, I gotta go over here. And like that conversation that she has with Turellian about leaving the battlefield is like, it sent chills down my spine. It was they did a great job. Like, it shows you the complexity of those characters and the love they have in each other. Because like, I don't think they've seen. I'm probably wrong on it, but I don't think they've seen each other in an expansion or two, if I'm right. I think Legion was the last time I remember.
No, they're not. No.
No.
This expansion united them.
No, I know, but I'm saying like, but they split up like, not split up like broke up, like split up like weren't together physically, I guess. But it's been a bit. But I thought they were together for like a hot minute and something, and then had to separate again.
Yeah.
But anyway. I will say, too, when she confronts Xalatath, the feet mommy herself, there's an interesting comment that was made that I caught during the cinematic. Xalatath stated that she lured us to Dornogal due to the violence that we seem to create as we go. All of it to fuel the black blood, which is where she derives her power from. So, like, the fact that we were driven to Dornogal is interesting, I think, because the way they made that comment. So that was something I took away from it. Also, I will say too, with Anduin struggling to learn all the coming back from the light when it came to the Shadowlands stuff, I was worried when I first saw it that he like just instantly gained it back within like 2 weeks of this expansion. Like, really, that's how we're gonna go? We give him the cheesiest lines known to man, and then we go, oh, here we go, and now you have your Paladin powers back. When we have all this time about complaining that, he's got to find his way back to light, he does it instantly. So I was first enraged a bit by it because I was like, really, we're just gonna we're gonna write cheese and then we're just gonna give it to him. But I noticed too that at the end of the cinematic, well, it's not the end of the cinematic. It's when you go, like, I think, turn in the last quest. Anduin's up in Dornogal talking to Thrall on like a mountaintop. His sword doesn't have the spark to it. So I don't think he really fully regained his Paladin powers, but I think he just like got it for a glimpse. if that makes sense. Now, Jordan, what did you think about it?
I think it would have been a way better story if Anduin was a villain instead
You
of he
do?
was a crybaby or whatever. I think it would have been way better if he defected.
Like if you're saying like if he stayed under the jailer in Shadowlands and continued forward, or like what do you mean by a villain?
No, not necessarily that route. Maybe he could even found the fell magic, but I think he should have went insane.
Really? Okay.
And I think he should have been a real problem with us finding Xalatath. Or he's like, oh, the light hasn't found me. The light hasn't found me. Maybe if the void did, that'd be kind of twisty, wouldn't it?
Oh my god, what if hold up. That's interesting because think about it this way. Xalatath was screwing with Illyria's mind for the entire start of this story, right? What if the only reason Khadgar is back is to screw with Anduin and everybody else about him getting his powers back?
Well, we know some of Khadgar's control is good because he warned them about an attack.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. Okay. Because wasn't she pretending to be somebody in... So when I say she, I mean Xalatath. Wasn't Xalatath pretending to be somebody in the... What's the mage group again? We've had beverages.
The Kirin Tor.
Yeah, wasn't she pretending to be someone in the Kirin Tor at the start of it before Dalaran exploded? And she was like, he's been dead for a while. And like then Illyria kind of freaks out. Or was that just like a mind game that she played with Illyria that like the guy should actually walk past the guy, but it was all in her noggin kind of thing? So that's another thing that
Well, it's actually something we got to source a little better.
Yeah.
Sorry, we come here at the Tavern Talks from you live based on what we know. We have some fact checking to do, it seems.
There's just so many things. Like, dude, how crazy would that be if they take your approach to it though, and Anduin is like developing to be a villain? Like, that would be crazy.
He gets void touched.
Right.
You know, he's the perfect, if you think about it, he's like, ooh, I'm not worried. Well, he's actually been, spoilers, he's actually have revived people with the light. He has begun to felt the light again. And so it's too late for him to be poisoned, in my mind.
Well,
the void would have gone on to better targets at this point. You know, we tried to get the Nerubians. You know, we'll see how this raid goes. I'm sure there's no way the player characters could best the Nerubians. There's no way they ever would. And they will.
Well, okay, but again, I give it to you again. What if the entire thing we saw about him getting the light back because his sword doesn't have the little twinkle it used to, like, go back to Battle for Azeroth, when he's like, even in the cinematics, you know, when he's got his light, he's like calling down shit during that, like the launch trailer cinematic, I think it was. His sword has that glow to it, and it's had that sense what happened in Shadowlands. Well, it doesn't have it when he's talking to Thrall. So could it be Xalatath, like, just mind-fucking us? Like, big brain move?
So, a lot, so Anduin's torture would not be void related, so to speak.
No, I'm not.
Would be a scourge related kind of thing.
Right. I'm not saying that because of Shadowlands, this is like what I'm saying is Shadowlands removed the light. What if he was tempted or thinks that what he's talking to is the light, but it's not the light, and thinks what he's talking to or who's talking to him, whichever way the conversation starts or is going again for him, is not the light, but is Xalatath. Is that better worded?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I wonder, because I feel like in this dark time he could be fooled. I'm not saying to use him again as a force for evil. I mean, granted, he did it for like 5 minutes in Shadowlands, but... Well, do you want him to lead your alliance? Do you want this boy king who runs away? Because I'm a little fucking... Oh, the lights left me, and so I guess I'm not worthy of my kingdom. I guess they'll figure it out. It's like, yeah, that's who you want to lead you?
I need to go cut the segment.
It's like, at least my leader fucking blew up your world tree. Like... Yeah, I didn't agree with everything she did, but at least she got shit done.
There were fucking results.
You know?
She said we're burning the world tree, and we burned it. What else can you complain with?
Yeah, we ain't rallying behind Anduin with that kind of veracity, right? So, well, we should cut it there. Is there anything else we want to talk about with the story before we move on?
I think the story is very well done. There's
Yeah.
like we've gone about.
Yeah.
There's some holes in it that we can play with and guess around. But
But then
they're
there's
doing
new beauties like Faerun. There's beauties.
God, Faerun is amazing.
yeah.
I've said it on our socials, and I really do mean, like, I hope we get her more in the coming expansions that they have plotted out than just, okay, cool, she just stays in Hollowfall.
No,
and,
she's
like,
the real
that's it.
paladin. I'll be honest with you.
She's a great paladin. But no, I don't want her. Like, people have guessed about her being a love interest. Even if she just stays as a friend to Anduin, that I think is going to be amazing. Like, if she ends up coming back to like Azeroth,
I don't give a
quote-unquote,
fuck
or,
how
like,
she is
Eastern
Anduin.
Kingdoms,
She should run the Alliance. Then maybe I'll fucking
Dude,
think they're cool or something.
that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna replace Anduin with her.
Honestly,
long
yeah.
game.
Kill Anduin. Kill
No.
Anduin. I mean, sorry, excuse me.
I don't want to have to do another rock to Mama's head, Joe. At this point, I'm just gonna go carving. You like, I'm gonna go cut the last. What is it? Like
I
2
mean, but
episodes ago.
Faerun's
Tavern
really
Talk.
cool though.
Right, and she also doesn't have
Anyway.
the issue of, her family lineage being stomped out by a rock.
We have to cut the story off at some point.
Right.
So we
Okay.
are cutting off
So
the
Jordan,
first topic of the Tavern Talk.
Yep, Jordan, you had a very wonderful hot take we talked about at the start of this episode that we're gonna dive into. That you think there should or shouldn't be another class given to us in Blizzard or from Blizzard.
So let me give devil's advocate opinion first. There's a lot of cool, interesting ideas they could do if you do like a pet tank, right? Like a shared health bar or a mitigating,
hunter?
like commanding a tank around from third person concept is kind of cool. They could play with something like that. Like there is maybe a couple of concepts that have ever been implemented in World of Warcraft that they could utilize. Maybe. But 13 is a fucking enough, dude. Like, no, we got, and 0.5% of us play Evoker. You want them to make another class? You want them to make another one? You want the balancing to be this far off? You want, they forgot about Demon Hunter. They forgot about whatever the next class is. Fucking, I don't know.
Well, look at
Revoker.
how many hot fixes have we had in just 2 weeks of a new expansion going on with 13 classes, and you want to add another?
They have to balance 37 specs.
Yep. Yeah.
37. We're fine. Like, there are some concepts that could be explored here. And so I knew you and I were going to agree with this already insane. The amount of classes they have in retail is already absolutely bonkers, in my opinion, right? Like,
Right.
But let's try and come up with concepts of classes that they still have avenues to do. And the only one that really poked at, which I hate this idea. I do not want to remote control a tank to run a dungeon, right?
You don't?
But somebody who I was playing with brought up that pet tanking could be a concept they bring up in the game.
Pet tanking? Explain that, please.
Let's say a Beast Mastery Hunter is able to master a tank pet that could tank a certain amount of the mobs. Their idea of it was it wouldn't be able to tank a boss instead of the tank. And I was like, okay, let me boil this down for you how this is going to work in this community. Either the pet tank is going to be good enough to tank the boss and tank the whole dungeon and make sure that there are no tanks in this dungeon, or it's going to be so bad that nobody does it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't think pet tanking is going to work. Not in this game, at least.
I don't think
I would like to be wrong, right?
Right. You never like to be wrong. I know you. Let's be honest.
The meta would be quite unique. Let me put it that way. If pet tanking was good, it would be unique. Yeah, it would be Season 1 Pandaria again. Oh my god. When you had a Warlock tank.
What? A Warlock tank? What?
Yeah, because they would just have their minions tank the whole fucking fight.
Jesus.
They are utilizing a lot of what I would call most of the MMO concepts. If you think there's a class or a concept that they need to include in the World of Warcraft, I want you to let us know in the comments below. Because I am not pet tanking did not sell me on
No.
another class specialization. So
I am fine with what we have. I think it's enough for the developers to deal with on a standard basis. I mean, I'll go back to what I said a bit ago. It's been 2 weeks. Look at the amount of class changes we've had just to try to bring stuff back to a better Warcraft style, right? Like, you can get overpowered and stuff, but it doesn't make the game fun, so they had to reel it all back in. But, Jordan, I think we've hammered the same nail on the head enough. You wanted to talk about professions in the War Within, since you have decided to do that all this week, and I'm sure you have something wonderful to tell us about how great they are, how they're perfectly done, and there's no problems, and I've just really nailed it perfectly.
No, there's no chance. There's no RNG involved in any of professions. No, just kidding. That's actually my biggest problem with professions so far.
Yeah.
Is the RNG. I just think they should make recipes, really hard to get recipes, a little bit more gettable. If I am a amateur blacksmith, I am not going to down this dungeon 17 times this week to then I get enough chance to probably get one of these things to be able to craft. One of these recipes. So what it turns into is you look up on Wowhead what dungeons or what BS you need to do to get this stupid mat, to learn the recipe, and so the end game is pretty annoying. I do like the beginning, and the crafting orders at the beginning. Getting to 100 is sweet. Getting the recipes you need is trash, and the skills you need is trash. Right? Like, I have a bunch of feasts on my cooking. I'm 100 on cooking. I'm 100 tailor. Right. I'm a level 100 blacksmith. I'm a level 100 leather worker. Getting the recipes to make shit that matters is actually the hard part. You almost have to get lucky, and I'm still waiting on, for example, I'm trying to max cooking on my evoker, and I've been trying so hard. I keep running the spreading the light quest on all 3 of my characters every week. My warrior, my mage, and my evoker.
Yeah.
And none of them yet have gotten the damn recipe for cooking. It's because I can make a feast. I can make a feast. It takes an absolute cubic hell ton of fish. It's so expensive to make.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there is a more efficient feast that also gives you a better stat. But I just don't have the recipe for it. I don't know how to make it. I just don't know how to make it, guys. Sorry.
Womp womp.
I have to pay 4 times as much for a shittier feast.
Right.
Which is so annoying. So I think they could... I don't know. To be honest with you, Nick, what do you think? How easy should these recipes be able to get?
I think
if I
will say the biggest problem is that they don't have anything put into the system to where a recipe for a profession your character doesn't I'd be fine with the drops staying wherever they're at because I've picked up a few. But my biggest thing is the fact that these recipes will automatically come soulbound, which is fine. But to drop a soulbound recipe for leather working on a paladin who doesn't have leatherworking sounds great. I'd rather have whatever BS blacksmithing one was going to drop instead.
Right, it's not perfect yet, right? At least if it was warband bound, you could make yourself a little shitty, I don't know, how many paladins do you need? 7 or 8? So you can make your 7th paladin be a leather worker or something, right?
Yeah, just something stupid. But no, that's a big thing. You don't have to go in and code it to be search characters profession if doesn't exist, drop everything or drop only things off this list at these percents. They don't have to get that crazy with it, but just be okay, they're all warbound now. That'd be better. I'd take that.
Yeah, I would
That's
take
my
that
biggest
as well.
gripe I've seen so far. What is our next topic? Should spell casting.
So, yeah. No, this is my topic. Should spell casting. This is a Jordan topic. They are working on trying to fix Arcane Mage to where you're not canceling your own spells. And so I think this is interesting. I just wanted to bring this up a little bit. If you are trying to play an Arcane Mage, you long cast spells unless you get procs, right? So you expect when you do a long cast to be interrupted with a proc, hopefully, right? But if you don't, you get the long cast off anyway. At least you get the long cast. And so, as an arcane mage, you get used to canceling your own casts, right? With things that are better. I think that's a good mechanic of the class. It makes me, when I get bored of Frost Mage and just doing tons of AoE, I want to log into Arcane and set all my talents up for that, and then start canceling some spells and start being a gross mage. I think it's an interesting topic. Like,
Okay. That is story off of the...
like what makes a mage fun? You know,
I have no idea.
You almost gotta identify it for yourself, because Frost Mage is a lots of fun because you just get to blow a bunch of AoE the whole time and destroy them. Arcane is fun because you get to plan for everything. And if you plan for everything, it's gross. So I don't know.
I can tell you why Red Pally's fun. I have no idea. No idea about any style of me.
So the last topic we're going to talk about in the Tavern Talk today is that I kind of like that they're not doing Mythic Keys the first week. I kind of like that we get a week of Mythic Zeros. How do you feel about that, Nick?
Personally, mainly because I have a lot of things going on in my life personally, I'm happy about it, but I'm also so ready to hit the Mythic track and just fucking pump like the Ret Pally does.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
ready to go.
You better get ready for my mage. You ain't even seen it yet. You ain't even seen my mage's potential yet.
No, I've seen it a couple times. It's
No, we're gonna arm wrestle.
lower on the charts.
You better believe.
Hey, that one eye level is really gonna do me some good.
I bet.
No, it'll
But
be good.
we
I
are
am-
really
Go ahead.
We are really, really excited to take away from what we're going to see from Mythic Zeros this week. We're going to get a real good feel about how hard we're going to get fisted by keys. It's going to be sweet.
I can't wait to see if it's lubed or unlubed.
Lubed or unlubed. Yeah, let's see what Blizzard decides, right?
Especially when we get released from Zeros and get to start racking them up and be like, okay, how hard are these new fixes and this new structure they actually have going on?
Oh, the affixes. Yeah, we didn't. That's why we didn't have any affixes in our section because
We haven't for 2 weeks.
next week. Stay tuned for next week's episode. We will have a pretty good
round.
dive.
First round of affixes for the new expansion.
Yeah, crazy.
It's
But
gonna be great.
I think we're calling it here. I do love you guys so much for listening.
Always
And
love
Nick?
you for listening.
Yeah, definitely. And Nick, would you send us out?
Will do. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of the Valley of Spirits. We're your hosts, Jordan and Nick, your go-to Horde players. Join us in Dornegal on the Mal'Ganis server. Look up our guild, the Electric Boogaloo, for some epic adventures. Stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or X, as it is known these days, by searching the Valley of Spirits podcast. Don't miss out on an episode and follow us on Spotify or anywhere you find podcasts. Check out our YouTube for additional content not found on podcast platforms. Until next time, may your quest be glorious and your loot be plentiful. And as always, for the Horde.
For the Horde!